Yes. I got the plug in that end. There's just a little rubber gasket. The pipes are different lengths. This one's longer than this one. I think they kind of rotate. This one's longer than the next one, and then you got two shorties in there because of this here. But these never got hot enough to really cause any issues. What I am going to do here is just give her a little bit of a tweaking just for the fun of it. This one here, I'm actually going to replace this one. I'm going to replace it just because I think it's old. Not that it needs to be replaced, but just that it's old. And this is the check valve, by the way. So, anyway, I think my fuel line excursion's about done here. And we're going to move on to the next thing, which it's raining outside right now, and really don't want to do too much outside if it involves going out there, but what I am going to do is start. I need a lot of room to work here with this, to put that cab on. So I figured the building is actually higher there than it is over here. And I know when I took the 4450 cab off, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass. So, yeah, so that gives me enough room that I can put the cab on. Tim, run these wires. Yeah, never mind, because if you can run the wire over in front of the cab so I don't run it over with the skid steer, it'll be fine. So anyways, what I need to do is get my lighting back together. And it's a lot cleaner here. I don't have to worry about stepping in dirt. And the cats have been using the dirt from this machine as a toilet. So it stinks there. Tim's going to clean that up when he gets the lights all set up here. Yeah, so what I'm going to be able to do now is actually get these wires, the rest of these wires that come out of this tractor here, and run them forward a little bit. I have to move the, believe it or not, I have to move the, the horn. Because the silly horn on this tractor was here for some reason, and it needs to be moved up and under here, which I can probably just fish it in here someplace. I'm not sure where, but I'll find a spot and do that. So, for the most part, we're ready to go ahead and put the cab on now. I've got, everything's pretty much out of my hair that needs to be out of my hair. I still got some copper wire hanging there. I don't know, that came off the cab, I guess. We'll scrap that. Yeah, hopefully all of the wiring harnesses and stuff that come with the cab are going to be, compatible. Because this cab, where is it now? The cab over here. This cab is off of a 4560. I believe I've mentioned that a couple times. And it is actually just a two-wheel drive cab, if you can see. Let me open that. No, I won't open the window now. You can see the dashboard there to the right. There is a switch missing for the four-wheel drive. So the guy that sold it to me said if there's any problems, just give us a call and he'll make it right, which he probably knew that it was a two-wheel drive deal. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to get the blower on this thing and blow off any of the remaining dirt. This hose here is going to have to be cut off and removed because I don't think I have to cut it off, to be honest with you, just loosen it up. I know there's a couple of you clowns out there who says, oh, why don't you wash that thing? Well, there's a reason I didn't wash it. And I've been neglecting to tell you the reason because, you know what, you should be able to figure it out. It's not that difficult. I know some of you guys just don't have any regard for, for why I do things. It's just the way you think that it should be done. Well, the reason I didn't do that was because these hoses burned off. All of them. This hose here was for the cab, so it's no big deal. But when I wheeled it in here, there's a gigantic cab on top, and you cannot pressure wash it. Now the front part of it, I had like this here. This has to be replaced. This is actually a seal, a guard for the transmission. There's oil that can go, water that can go down into my oil in the transmission, and that's why I did not do it. Yeah, of course I want them. Open hoses, open lines. These lines were open. They were open. There's a lot of new stuff on here and a lot of open holes. So when you start shooting high pressure water into open holes, it goes down into my transmission, ruins the oil. Then I have to drain it out. So I hope I've answered your constant nagging about why I don't clean this thing. Yeah, it does need to be cleaned off. It is filthy. I agree with you 100%. It's just loaded with shit, all right? It's fine. When this thing goes to either I'm going to paint it or it's going to a paint shop. I'm probably leaning towards a paint shop because they're set up to do it right and quickly. On the other hand, I don't mind painting. I've painted a lot of things in my life. It's just not what I want to do right now. I am going to blow this dirt off, and Tim's going to have it all swept up and thrown in the proper place, which is basically the proper place is out of my way. And here's another hole. See this? If I started blowing water down in there, I'm going to have a transmission full of water. And it was bad enough that the tractor sat open for 2 years, but it really wasn't because it had a cab on, or a hood on top of the engine, and the cab actually had a rubber mat that it burned, but it made a seal, so there was no water that was going to go through it. The only place I had water was in this valve right here. And the reason that had water in it was because of this hose burning off. So I'm not even sure if this valve is any good. I think it is, because I actually, when this was off, there's no dirt in it. I cleaned it out. But yeah. So anyways, that's why it didn't get a bath. Will it get a bath? Hell yeah. Of course it's going to get a bath. Just not right now. But anyways, the cab is coming. So, right, Tim? All right, so back to the cab now. This stuff is loom, and this tractor cab, I believe, came out of the south. If it didn't come out of the south, it came out of some place that was damn dirty and hot, because the loom is all dry and brittle. So I bought new loom. Alright, it's really simple to do. You just buy new loom and you stick it on there. You cut it off or remove it from where it was, and you put new loom on. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next probably 2 or 3 hours, is just re-looming wiring harness. But in order to do that, I have to widen out my forks here, and I'm going to do this very carefully. This is heavy enough. On the 4450, this was damaged from rust. I don't know why it rusted, but it did. But that was damaged from rust, and it actually collapsed that. But this cab is in good shape. But the fork will go, and it'll rest here and over there at the front of the fender. There's the roll cage on both sides. So I'm going to have Timothy get in the skid steer right now. You're going to get on the skid steer, and you're going to start it up in a minute. We're going to widen this out, and I think it goes all the way wide, so widen them all the way out. I am going to remove these, just get it off of the pallet, because it is screwed fast to pallet, and then we're going to lift it straight up, and I should be able to do my loom work while Tim's sweeping and cleaning. All right, here we go. This thing. At least now I can work underneath here. I got faith in the skid steer that it's not going to fall and break and hit me on the head and kill me slowly. It'll be pretty quick if it does fall on me. It won't be slow, it'll be quick. Get it? Well, look what I just found. I found that damn washer that I was missing. I wonder if they got one on this side too. Nope, missing. Okay. So as you can see, I got all this loom wire. This loom has to be replaced. This particular wire here See it? This is this is my turn signals and everything else for when I hook into the sprayer and stuff. And when they did take it off, they got a little bit violent with it. So I've got that issue to deal with. Here's the ground wire, which is good. This goes up to the front. Oh wow, I bought this cable new, and I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to use this cable or if I'd have to buy a new cable. But I guess my question was answered. And Timothy, you're not doing any work sitting in there now, are you? Say no, Daddy. I'm not. I should be though, right, Tim? Yes, Father. Yeah, so that's all it's going to be. It's just a little bit of work underneath here, cutting loom, putting loom on, using wire ties, and all that other happy horse shit. This heater hose looks okay, but it's nowhere near long enough. So I'm going to have to go buy a heater hose. I don't know. Do we have any heater hose up there? I did have a whole box of it. I'm going to save this. Up there? Yes. Okay, let me go get the heater hose. All right, I'll get the heater hose and I'll be right back. I'm going to get my lights under here too so it's a little more bright. Okay, yeah, I've got the new hose. I didn't buy a John Deere hose. I just went and bought a, I just went and bought a new, I just had a new hose made from down at the auto parts store. There's no need for me to go ahead and buy a new hose from John Deere when I could just have it made. And you know, it'll work just fine. I'm going to loosen this up here now and turn it straight. See, I was going to put a different hose on there that I had, but I realized this is what I was going to do. This hose here came from John Deere, and it's the wrong hose. So this actually has to go back to Deere. And because of that J-hook it's got on there, I had to, Jesus. Yeah, I got indigestion. Now because of the J-hook, I had to turn this down, but then when I realized it wouldn't fit that, then I just abandoned the idea and put that on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this up and turn that, and then tighten it back up again so it's the way it's supposed to be. And then I have to loop it through that one, and then it will go straight up to where it belongs. This is just a return line, which I have on the cab itself. So I'm going to do that now, and yeah, then I'm going to, I guess, run the new heater hose that I have. This is 5/8 heater hose, like I'm supposed to have. If I could find the end of it, it would be a lot nicer, but of course, you know, they don't seem to have this. It doesn't want to be nice to me. So anyway, I'm going to find the end of the heater hose there, and then I'm going to run that back from the front of the back of the motor there, back this way. And then I guess the cab gets to get put on, and that's going to happen like right now. Yes, right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a new cab, and it's going to look like a tractor again. Yay! Anyways, yeah, not the enthusiasm for one day, right? What I'm doing now is pretty simple. You got to make all the connections, like hydraulic lines and electrical lines. They've all got to be connected underneath this mess of a thing we call a cab. There's also a couple of things that need to be, as you see, I climbed up in there. Right here, right here, there's a couple of bolts that have to come out, them right there, so that this panel can be removed so I can get underneath here with my hands without getting them pinched off. Yeah, there's just all kinds of little things. Here's a warning. I don't know what the hell that's for. All kinds of things. For the most part, this tractor is matching up pretty good. This thing here I know goes to that oil sending unit right there. This here, I'm not sure what this one does. Well, I'm going to find out sooner or later. It probably goes down to a sensor here, somewhere's down in here, because there is a couple, 3 of them, I guess. I just got to go find them all. But anyway, yeah, so what I'm doing is making the connections. We're getting down to it now. For the most part, I think what I'm going to end up doing is, I'm not ready to start this tractor by any means. I have some sandblasting to do and some other stuff, and then I'll be ready to fire it up. Because my battery box and everything has to go here. I should probably wing those wires over the top of this, because they go underneath, over the top of that thing. Do they? Yeah, they do. The ground wire goes around underneath here. Maybe it's over the top. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look for the routing of the wiring harness there. I'm pretty sure it goes around from here over the top. Maybe it does go over the top there. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out sooner or later. Sooner rather than later, though. And yeah, then we'll be ready to throw some coolant in there and fire the bitch up. But I'm going to put the hood on before I do that, because I want it to look like a real tractor before I'm ready to do that. But I got a ways to go. So probably another 4 or 5 hours before I'm done putting everything together. And you know, I'm going to set the camera up again to finish putting the cab on it, just because it's the right thing to do when I do that. But right now I'm just going to be putting her together. So hold on to your top hats.